impacts they are making, whether both the negative and the positive aspect of it, and also the traceability of the good, and the traceability of the good, and that is good. I think there should be more of that in the ASM sector, because if that is done effectively, our ASM team or the GNASSM will be recognized internationally, and I think that is what I think is good that we need to take. Lastly, the hub for Africa for the mineral resources. I think it's a good step that if you take it up, we'll learn from, since we have our fellow Zambians around, and we can interact with them and trade the gemstones with the gold. And this morning, the ring on board is a gemstone from Zambia and the gold from Ghana, which is good. And if we can promote more of the value addition, and I think it will help us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doc. I will look at it for what actually the speaker putting up for the documentary. Now, trace it to what Madam Pauline said, that small scale mining or miners in general have to raise our voice when it comes to certain issues of national issues. For the research, it came out clear that most of the post-2017 interventions after the ban were not well thought through to us. We can cite examples, can cite the use of neutralization, we can cite the ban, the interventions, the bans, the benefits, a lot. So we said that, look, just as Dr. Benari rightly said, that the onus lies on every stakeholder to do a bit to bring about the change that we've all been looking forward to as an association. What can we also do to inform decision makers that there will be need for multi-stakeholder approach when it comes to interventions? So we said, look, we will do it, we'll find it for ourselves. And at the time, like my communication director said, there was a current call from Chile, the mining and the residents of the stability level at that time was already so high. And there was a need for looking at it from outside the box. So when we did that, when we intervened with our task force, we realized that we were able to achieve a result, which is on record. It was everywhere in the news. And then that aside, we also wanted to set the pace to encourage self-regularization or governance, not entirely we alone tackling this, but partnership with key stakeholders, that when it comes to certain things, like our president said in the documentary, that we are the people, we those who are doing legal mining. So if we encourage our task force and then we come more into the picture, together we will be able to bring sanity into the system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It reminded me of the story of the blind man and an elephant. Each of them has described what an elephant is, described what it does. Each part they describe the elephant in terms of that. Each type of ground describe the elephant in terms of that. It basically reveals to me the complexity of the situation and the trying to do. Various stakeholders adopt different approaches, but if you keep them in isolation, then you don't really have a big picture. For me, it emphasizes the need to bring everybody together. When the GNASSM tried to portray what it would be to the table, I believe that official law has also got some good parts it can brought to the table. Indeed, if you go to the communities, who sometimes suffer the brunt of it, they will even have an approach or approaches we have not even thought about. We need to bring our heads together. And that's what this is start looking at it. We recognize that there will be Ghanaians who want to be involved in the subsector of the sector, mining sector, but who will not have the capacity needed to deal with issues associated with starting from the exploration that's needed to identify needed through to investment needed to operate properly and to derive the optimal benefit from it. All of that. And therefore, we both what was described as the small scale mining sector, which is limited to Ghanaians. Through to it, we have seen that Ghanaians have got the solution and benefited therefore. However, it was intended to be something limited to Ghanaians, which we have not succeeded in doing. And it has brought along with it some benefits, but at the same time created unintended negative impacts beyond our expectations and so on.
To a large extent, most of them have not helped a lot because the question is what inform policy in the first place. Normally, like CWA has done with GNASSM in terms of research, most of the time it's either policies emanate from literature or laws that have been passed down to us, and because time is not taken to do proper research, to get to understand the situation on the ground. Like example, now you go to the grounds, a lot of people are moving into mining instead of farming. The question is, why are people moving from farming into mining? Something account for that. Because gold price keep rising. And so you go to the villages, the mining communities, you can easily get a woman who will abandon farming and so because one plate can pay like 500 on a daily basis. The government is so blessed to have almost vast acreage of our area of our covered field. So we are saying that policies should be informed by research. Two, the small scale miners over the years, if you look at the regulations, the policies and the regulations that are come up, you check, take your time and go through it. You will find out that most of them have been punitive instead of mainstreaming the issues. So what am I saying that? You see the recent 2019 regulations that came out. Okay, what measures, what penalties should we give people? Who? So we have been advocating that we should find a way to make the sector so attractive, and this drive to emanate from governments. Because no matter how we see it, if we cannot fight an unfightable thing and we use the same strategy to fight against no working, then we change our strategy. So to conclude, I will say that though government made efforts to streamline the sector, some of the policy intervention they made sometimes is ridiculous. A typical example is the banning of the statistics. We don't say that the military should intervene. No, as a critical time, we need for military intervention. But as we talk now, if it becomes like a policy that the military is the one in charge of monitoring mining operations, then it seems we don't know where we are heading to. What about the regulators? Mineral Commission, are there, and here are to regulate. And And another typical example is giving sometimes government interventions and they kind of sidestep the regulators. Like a typical example, the interministerial committee that was set up. We have always here, our leaders, we all told them that, look, I mean, banning or suspending these, some of these regulators will not help. And eventually, GNASSM can testify as to what happened, whether it was successful or not. So thank you.
Okay. So this is one of the things which is causing these illegalities which is going on. Because somebody has you invest so much into the land, but then you have that. You just indiscriminate this excavation, you have to do it and exactly. Seven. Don't tell us what you're doing. You see, when ask commissions for instance, like you are saying, if the politicians or the ministries or the government will leave the deliberators to operate freely, I think it will also help we, the industry players, to work with these people and make sure that we do the right thing. But sometimes the deliberators themselves are finding things difficult because there's a time where a minister stood at a particular site and sat about 6 or 7 deliberators or suspended them. So at this point, they themselves are not the teeth to buy it. So how are they going to do it? So the regulation or the policies that government will bring on us, it will be very prudent that it bring us on board at the first business, so that we all put our heads together and come out with solutions.
Also, it's the same project. We have some 20 knockout areas for.
That landscape, are you giving them money?
Yes. To also do an investigation, geological investigation, to really delineate areas that are viable. So since then, I think there has been an improvement in that.
The formation of the association itself was like a facilitation of the National Commission, which we need to applaud for that.
So what's the legal requirement?
It's a legal requirement and also. So it was there before, but the National Commission and the NIE we were able to get a whole consultant to work with the actual for us to be able to establish this association. Then number 2, we also have what we call the Joint Area Committee at the National Commission. We also engage with the task force. What we've done over the period was the Ministry of Water and Natural Resources itself to work together and the task force was treated that only to work on the way. But resources in terms of support, in terms of resources, like the way we support the military, we never have this support. So the association itself, we organize over 1 million Ghana cedis to start the whole project. And the National Commission also helps once in a while. So when we get that support, it's important of what they do in the military. It will go a long way to help us clean our river. Government brought this issue of the river gas. It was a fantastic idea. It was once the whole of unfair of days. But where is the river gas now? Sustainability issue. Then the issue of evaluation and monitoring of policies.
But didn't you get anything from the Ghana landscape restoration?
No, Ghana landscape.
I mean, for what you did.
Yeah. Yes, we are still engaging with them because they see that we are beneficiaries.
Oh, okay.
Beneficiaries of the project. And I know we have series of engagements in that. You need to allocate resources to the association in terms of capacity building and logistical support, like the way we've done for the Mineral Commission, we've done for Ghana Survey Authority and all that. Once we are strengthening our presence out, because you still need support from them. So that's I think we are still engaging.
Yeah, Michael is more in, so
Yeah,
sure
you can do it. So it's not about using our facilities. They are doing that for the evaluations. But when it comes to the issue of policies, if the policies in the issue of monitoring and evaluation and its impacts is something that we like as a nation. Because what has been, for instance, the issue of community management. government flagship program. And community if you remember, 2010, at the district we started this thing, that we are having challenges in illegal government. So any concession that will come up, let's give some to the community so that the small scale communities themselves will also get their piece to work, issues of encroachment and all that. Then at the ministerial level, this issue came up, and that's the issue of the community. And then it started doing that. But what have been the impacts? Can we monitor it, look at the impacts, and then what can we do to address? The issue I see with it is the issue of the beneficial ownership for community. Who owns the community money? When we say it's community money, it's government policy or flagship program. You have individuals who owns.
You have a rapporteur capturing these very powerful issues you raise. We need to record that.
You have individuals. When we say community money, it belongs to the community. The ownership itself should be in the hands of the community. If you want to mine as an individual, apply your own license.
And you set it up like a cooperative.
It's a cooperative. So the cooperative, but now you see, we have individual, I can go in and say I'm operating community money. So the issue of conflicts between the community, giving an individual is an issue. It's so expensive to get a community money operation. Why should it be so? Because of the whole industry around. They need to bring the minister in, bring these people in. So they at the end of the day on that, you are looking at some about 150 to 200,000 for you to even have this community material. But the ownership should be in the hands of the community. So those who hold it in trust, so you have the chiefs, like when we do the community radio issues. It's the community who owns it. When you own it as a community, even the chief doesn't own it as his personal property. They hold it in trust for the community. Then they can say, okay, let's have a mind support service for a contractor at this time. That means community should be aware.